supplies on hand. Rare earths, it's even worse, and all of those are controlled by China. When you start to think about earth-penetrating tomography as a technology for locating underground mineral resources, as an example, oil and gas resources, some of that technology was tested, and it was tested in over 20 states on a number of wells that were drilled by Halliburton back in the 80s and into the 90s. And what they looked at was using a very simple method of earth-penetrating tomography. They were able to look and with absolute 99.9% accuracy, grade and quantity and quality of oil and gas layers through the earth, matching up perfectly against actual drill logs from when they physically drilled those wells using this type of technology. Now imagine, and remember what we were talking about earlier about the public owns energy resources in most instances. In Alaska, in all instances, they're publicly owned. But if you could with certainty image the underground geologic structures and know exactly where oil and gas is, now you no longer have risk associated with the drilling activity, which is why everyone says, we ought not to be in the energy business. But when you can define where those deposits are, then you can maximize or optimize what you get on the lease, because now everyone has good information. If you want to bid on that lease competitively, you're going to optimize the public's return on those resources. So using our technology for doing some things maybe makes a lot of sense, because there's lots of ways to do earth-penetrating tomography and identify those mineral resources and oil and gas resources. HARP is one of those technologies that perhaps we could use in this way.
And so what they're doing is they're penetrating these microwaves into the brain. And when they penetrate these frequencies into the brain, just like they do the layers of the earth, they're inserting stuff into the brain, and then they penetrate this pulse frequency into the brain, and it actually identifies, just like gas, oil, or whatever, with what they inserted, and they light that part of the brain up, and they actually wind up causing your brain to change. Well, I was sitting here being frequencied just before I woke up. It's just blaspheming the Holy Spirit through my head through this EEG cloning. Said, yeah, you got quite a brain on you. You're quite a chemist mind. She said, we have our potions. And she says, she basically said, you're dirt. I made a note of it, and this is the actual note right here that I made of it, where she said, you're dirt. She said, God made you out of the ground. So obviously these Satanists, the same way that they send these frequencies into the earth, are looking at us like we're layers of dirt and sending these frequencies and programming stuff into us. I don't know. It's just it was really plain to me while it was going through my mind what they were doing to me, and then when I started thinking about it, and then I thought about this guy and what I heard about them sending frequencies into the ground and identifying stuff. And I got another video where it actually, I drew the diagram here where it shows how the pulse can go deep into the brain. So this is a record, and this is for the public, for anybody that's experiencing frequencies and them putting stuff into their brains. Just what they're doing with this technology.